Niners are favored by I think like 1.5. Ravens were favored. Bills were favored. And we went to all their houses and won. What this team has shown me is that we can have Super Bowl winning teams of different molds. Let's freaking go, man. Let's freaking go. What's going on, everyone? You are listening to the Antonio Chauran Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Antonio Chauran, and I am manifesting that I'm going to get a new hat. This is a Super Bowl 57 hat, and we're going to be getting Super Bowl 58, baby. Let's go. As you all are probably aware, we got a Super Bowl this Sunday. Chiefs and Niners in Las Vegas, and I've been watching everything this week, right, in terms of, what everyone is saying about the game, who they think is going to win, why they think they'll win. And, spoiler alert, I'm going to be picking the Chiefs here to win this game. But I have plenty of reasons why the Chiefs will win this game. And let's go over those, shall we? Let's start with the side of the ball that people have been undermining this entire season. And that is this Chiefs defense. First off, this is the best defense that Patrick Mahomes has ever played with. I mean, in all statistical categories, they are top 5, top 3, in all of them, top 2 in some. This is specifically over the regular season. In total points allowed per game, we were 3rd. Total passing yards allowed per game, 2nd. Total yards allowed per game. So this is including rushing and passing, 2nd. First downs allowed, 5th. 2nd in sacks. And first down percentage, 6th. So, guys, I haven't even talked about the postseason yet, right? And I'm going to do more so of a comparison with the Niners, Chiefs and Niners kind of side by side here. But I feel like that's something that a lot of people aren't really talking about and have been undermining this entire season. All I've heard is, the Chiefs got a good defense. It's better than the Chiefs defenses of past. And yeah, it 100% is. But it's taken on a whole other level. Both of our corners in L'Jarius Sneed and Trey McDuffie should have made first team All-Pro. Trey McDuffie did, but L'Jarius Sneed, in my opinion, got snubbed. He definitely should have gotten that spot. And so the fact of the matter is that, in my opinion, that's going to be the X factor of this game. If we're looking at the 49ers stats so far this postseason, granted, they played 2 games. The Chiefs have played 3. So in terms of like a totality standpoint, their numbers are going to look less. But I'm just doing average points per game right now. From their side of the ball on defense, there's really nothing too impressed. There's nothing that I'm really impressed by with this defense. Total passing yards allowed, 227 yards per game. Rushing allowed, 159 yards on the ground per game. Total points allowed per game, 26. Third down percentage allowed, 52%. So their opponents are basically getting third downs over 50% of the time. Let's look at the Chiefs on the flip side. Total passing yards allowed per game, 209.7. Rushing yards per game allowed, 113. Points per game, 13.7. Again, remember, we held Miami to 7 points, holding the Ravens to 10, and obviously the outlier with Buffalo holding them to 24 points. But still, we went up against the top offenses in the league. No, let alone the AFC, in the league. And on average, we held them to 13.7 points per game. I will take that. Third down percentage allowed against teams on average in these 3 games, 29.73%. So we'll round up to 30%. Teams are converting on third down 30% of the time against our defense. what is there left to discuss? I'm saying all this to say that this is a defense on the 49ers that, was on a hot streak, right? Early on in the season. But they, from in my opinion, and I think it's not too far fetched to say they have cooled down significantly. Um, I've said this about the Niners so far this postseason. In those two games that they played against Green Bay and Detroit and Green Bay more so lost those games and the 49ers won them. I mean, going into the fourth quarter, Green Bay was up 21-14. Going into halftime against Detroit, they were down 24-7. Now look, I get it. They had to make the plays, they had to make the stops on defense, and they had to make the plays to score on offense to win that game. I understand that happened. But if you watch the game, there were plenty of mistakes that were made on the opposing side that cost them the game. I mean, Jordan Love with a horrific decision to throw it back into the middle of the field on a potential either game-tying drive or game-winning drive. I mean, that's going to get picked off 9 times out of 10. And the one time it's not, it's just because the person dropped it. And that's why they're on defense, because they can't catch instead of being a receiver on the offensive side. And then again, with Detroit, I mean, time and time again, key drops, right? Questionable calls going for it on fourth down instead of getting the points, getting a field goal, getting 3 points. So that's really how I look at it. I don't see the 49ers having won those games because in those particular games they were the better team. I don't see it like that. And that's really going to be the reason, or one of the reasons, that goes into me feeling really confident that the Chiefs can win this game. I mean, from an offensive standpoint, which has been the talk of the town for this KC team this season, I mean, we're putting up 235, 236 yards per game in the passing game, 127.3 yards on the ground per game. I will take that. Absolutely. In points per game, 23.3 points per game. I mean, and the Niners are averaging 29 points a game. I don't necessarily look at that from the Niners' perspective, putting up 29 points in these two games on average at face value necessarily, for the simple fact that, I mean, they had to come back and win these games. So, I mean, of course they were going to be really heavy on the offensive side of the ball, pressuring and forcing it. Brock Purdy, I mean, through 2 games, has 2 touchdown passes and 1 interception. So, I mean, it's nothing glowing, but he won games when he needed to. He played his best ball in the situations that he needed to. So total credit to him for that. But again, I think from a totality of teams, I think the Chiefs are more impressive. I really do, For everyone that was talking about how Kelsey was having a down year, he came, 15, 16 yards short of a 8 straight 1,000-yard season? So far in this playoffs, 23 catches on 27 targets, 3 touchdowns, 262 total yards, averaging about 87, 88 yards per game. Mahomes, 68% completion percentage, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, 107 passer rating. 100.7 passer rating. 2 sacks, 14 plays for 20 or plus yards. 14! Again, so far this season, we haven't been able to get those big plays. And in 3 games, we have 14 plays of 20 or plus yards. That's about 5 per game. I'll take that. And I have no doubt we're going to have at least 2 or 3 against the Niners. No question. And Pacheco, too, again, on the run game. 3 touchdowns, 254 total yards, about 85 yards per game. I mean, I'll take that all day. And again, to add more on the defensive side of the ball for us, 6 sacks so far in 3 games. Niners have 2 in 2 games. And 2.5 of those sacks coming from George Karlaftis. I love how he has developed. Him and Chris Jones, I mean, I'll take that all day. That's a dynamic duo right there. Again, Charles Omeni, he was going to be out due to a torn ACL he suffered against the Ravens in the AFC Championship game. That sucks. That sucks. Again, going against his former team in the Niners. So that again, that sucks for him. But you know, maybe you can get us a little insight on this team, right? You know, that'll be helpful. A little mole in the building, if you will. Um, but yeah, look, I can give you all the numbers, right? But you got to watch the games. You know, I understand these numbers from a certain standpoint help my argument that I think that I think the Chiefs will win this game. But watch the games. See how everything has gone throughout the season. This season has been tough for the Chiefs. It has been tough. I mean, before this season, a Mahomes-led offense had been held to 20 or less points 6 times. So his entire career, this is his 7th season, only his 6th season starting. So for about 5 years, his offense has been held to 20 points or less only 6 times. In a 5-season span. This season, they've been held to 20 or less points 8 times. Just this season alone. Now, you don't really count the 8th time just because that was the last game of the season. We beat the Chargers 13-12. None of the starters were playing. Mahomes wasn't playing. So let's say 7. But even still, that's more than a 5-season stretch. It's been tough. It's been really tough. And I think the fact that we've been doubted so much this season. I mean, this is the 3rd game straight in the playoffs where we're not favored. Niners are favored by I think like 1.5. Ravens were favored. Bills were favored. And we went to all their houses and won. So, you know, I think the Chiefs have taken on this role of being the villain, being the party wreckers, and they like that. They do. You know, I see a guy in like Mahomes and Kelsey, Chris Jones. I think of like the leaders of this team. Those 3 guys, in my opinion, are the leaders of this team, Mahomes, Kelsey, and Jones. And they relish in that. They love the villain role, and I love it too. Because all of these fans talking smack about how, oh, the Chiefs are done this season, blah, blah, blah. They're not the same Chiefs of old. And we go into their building and we beat them in a down year. Again, last season was supposed to be a rebuilding year. And what do? We won the whole damn thing. Next season comes around, oh, it's a down year. Offense doesn't look the same. Blah, blah, blah. Kelsey's mind is elsewhere because he's thinking Hollywood now. He's dating Taylor Swift. Oh, he's thinking of all this stuff off the field. All of these commercials that he has. His game isn't, you know, the same. His head isn't in it. Comes 15 yards short of an 8th straight 1,000-yard season. Has 3 touchdowns in 3 playoff games so far. Averaged 87 or 88 yards per game through 3 games. Caught 11 of 11 against the Ravens defense. That was the top defense in the entire league. 1 touchdown, 116 total yards with the W. Guys, what are we doing? What are we doing? The Chiefs are still the Chiefs. This is just a different version. Our offense doesn't need to be putting up 35, 40 points a game. We don't need to win in shootouts. We have a top defense. A top defense. You know, I think of the top defenses in the league this season. Niners, Ravens, Cowboys, Bills, Chiefs. You know, teams like that. No one was really putting the Chiefs in those conversations. Everyone was like, oh, the Ravens and Niners. Those are the top defense in the league. I just read off all those stats of the Chiefs defense, but we're just good, right? We're just good. Since week 14, like I said this in my last show, we have allowed an average of 4 points per game in the second half. Since week 14. And here we are in the Super Bowl. I mean, that's a 2-month stretch, basically. So yeah, I'm tired of the doubt. I'm tired of everyone just getting so ready to move on from the Chiefs. You know why that's the case though, right? You know why? It's because we have entered a realm now where we are so good that people are just tired of it. They are. And I get it. I get it. You're tired of seeing us win. You're tired of Mahomes. You're tired of Kelsey. Apparently, everyone hates Travis now. I don't care. He doesn't care. He's living his best life, and I'm happy for him. As long as he shows up on Sundays, I don't give a shit what he does off the field. So, yeah, haters are going to hate. It is what it is. We're turning into the modern day Patriots. And I say that to say that, look, I'm not comparing us to the Patriots in terms of we haven't won 6 Super Bowls. But if you were to ask me if I think we can, in that same amount of time that the Patriots did, winning 6 Super Bowls in 20 years, do I think the Chiefs could do that? Hell yeah. I'll say that right freaking now. If we win on Sunday, we'll have 3 Super Bowls in 5 years. You're telling me we're not going to be on pace to win 3 more in 15 years from now? I respectfully disagree. Because what this team has shown me is that we can have Super Bowl winning teams of different molds. We can have an offensive juggernaut and win. We've won 31-20. We won 38-35. And I think for this Super Bowl, I'm predicting a score of 27-21. That's what I'm feeling. That, like, as soon as we beat the Ravens, I started thinking about, I'm like, all right, how is this game going to look? How do I think it'll go? And 27-21 was the automatic score that popped into my head. I kid you not, right away. And, you know, the more I've thought about it, the more I've tried to see, oh, maybe should I wiggle out of that a little bit? I think 27-21 is going to be the final score. I do. That's 8 points under the 2-game average that the 49ers have had. 29 points per game. They're not getting 29 points in this game. They're not. Chiefs are going to get 27. Now look, I predicted a higher score for the Ravens game and ended up being 14-10. Or, I'm sorry, 17-10. So, I mean, I say 27-21, but it would not surprise me if this was a little bit of a lower scoring game. Again, no disrespect to the offenses here, but we don't need to put up a bunch of points to win games. We don't. And again, that's a testament to this defense. Steve Spagnuolo, I mean, it's been a godsend. He really has. I'm so happy that we have him. I hope he stays because, I mean, he's been vital, crucial to the success of this Chiefs team this season. And if he stays the D coordinator for seasons to come, he's going to be a crucial piece to that. So, yeah, I mean, I feel good. I feel really good. Now, this Niners team is no joke. So, yes, I'm picking the Chiefs to win here, but it's not going to be easy by any means. But I feel confident. I feel confident in this Chiefs team. And Mahomes is going to get his third ring in 5 years. Travis is going to get his third ring. Andy's going to get his third ring. Pacheco's going to get his second. And we're going to go back to back since the Patriots about 20 years ago. And we'll see what the haters say from there on. And also, just one last thing, too. I know everyone is saying that this is like scripted and stuff like that. That if the Chiefs win, that Taylor Swift's going to go out on the field and Travis is going to propose to her. It's going to be this perfect storybook ending. That's so dumb. I mean, the hate that has come this Chiefs way has been absurd. It really has. Like, it's hilarious. And look, if anything, this should show you that those dumb stats that people just make up trying to go along with storylines, it's just bullshit. I mean, think about it. We beat 2 streaks this season. There was a streak going on where since 2019, the team that beat Buffalo in the playoffs, that following game they lost. The Texans in 2019 beat the Bills. Next game, we beat them 51-31. Season after that, we beat the Bills in the AFC Championship game, and we lose to the Bucs in the Super Bowl. Season after that, we beat them in the divisional round. We lose to the Bengals in the AFC Championship game, and here we are. This season, I forget. Oh, the Bengals beat the Bills, and then we beat the Bengals in the AFC Championship game that following season. We beat the Bills this season in this playoff, and we break that streak when we beat the Ravens. And then the other one was for the past 2 seasons, dating back to the Rams-Bengals Super Bowl, that the color of like the Super Bowl logo was supposed to kind of hint or spoil or I guess predict who was going to be in the Super Bowl. So it was the Rams, Bengals, and then Chiefs, Eagles, and then it was supposed to be Ravens and Niners this season, but obviously that didn't happen. It's Chiefs, Niners. So we beat a couple little BS storylines there, streaks, whatever you call it. So yeah, excuses are going to be made. I know that, regardless of how the game goes. Excuses will be made. But you know what? It is what it is. I'm confident that this Chiefs team is going to go out and win this game because they are straight up the better team. Now, is by a long shot? No. But I think with the experience that this team has, what we have at stake, I mean, no one's going to be losing their job, right? That's not what this is about. We're in another realm now where we're chasing legacy, right? We're trying to repeat. We're trying to go back to back here for the first time since the Patriots in the early mid-2000s, about 20 years ago. Mahomes is trying to get his 3rd ring in 6 seasons as a starter. The guy's 28 years old, and he can possibly have 3 rings already by then. And he's trying to get his 3rd ring. Maybe he's chasing Belichick. Who knows? Travis is trying to get his 3rd ring. Be the GOAT tight end, chasing Gronk. You know? I mean, there's so many things that can go on here. We're trying to become the modern day dynasty right now. That's what we're chasing. On the flip side, I mean, look, Brock Purdy, I don't think he's going to lose a job, like if he doesn't win this. But Kyle Shanahan, I mean, has these great seasons, postseasons, but can't seem to win the big one. You know? So this Niners team that hasn't won since the 90s, you know, trying to break that Super Bowl winning drought. It's not going to happen on Sunday, in my opinion. I don't. So, I'm manifesting. Like I said, this is going to have a 58, a fat 58 right there. Yeah. I haven't seen the designs of what it would look like, but I'm going to order that shit as soon as we win, and hopefully it comes back. Hopefully it gets here before I do my next episode after the Super Bowl. If not, then the one after that. It will be here. And I'll be wearing it, and I want to be gloating. And yeah, y'all may think I'm talking very confidently, maybe even cocky. I don't care, because the Chiefs are going to win this game. We're going to win our third ring in 5 years. Mahomes is going to have his third ring, 6 years as a starter, chasing Brady. Travis is going to have his third ring, and he's going to have his third ring. Let's freaking go, man. Let's freaking go. We're going to go back to back, baby. I'm feeling it. And I'm going to see them at the White House when they come next time. Hopefully that, I'm going to save my comments for that. But I just hope a certain individual isn't in office by the time that comes around, because it'll probably be next year when they go. Not the end of this year. So, yeah. You catch my drift. Anyways, thank you all for listening, and I will see you next time. Hopefully I will be happy, not crying and depressed. Peace.